The stepfather used to take his finger and explore my private part. I always wonder how did I actually make it? Came back on the other side, she was a monkey. I never told anyone at home. Someone knew that I was going to cook. And as I opened the pot, there were about 4 huge frogs. And for me, like, I'm thinking now that who would have hated me so much?
Welcome to the Safe Space Chats podcast with Madam Speaker. My name is Perseverance Maremani, also known as Madam Speaker, also known as the CEO of Self-Love. If you're joining for the first time, welcome to the family of healing, self-love, and motivation. And if you're returning, thank you so much for the continuous love and support that you are showing us. We are recording at number 7, Cedric Road in Isando Vale, Bazalwane. So if you want to come through, maybe you want to start your own podcast or anything like that, you're more than welcome to hit up the number that's appearing on your screen right now. And also if you want to come through as a guest, just like we are here seated today with our beautiful guests, you're more than welcome to hit us up. There's a number that's appearing on your screen. You can choose whichever one that you like and you just write to us and we get to sit today. But anyway, there's somebody who is sitting with me. She wrote to us and she has got a story to share with us today. My sister, please introduce yourself to the viewers at home.
Okay, I am Thandeka. I was born and raised in Mpumalanga. Well, I was born into a polygamous family, with its own dynamics and dysfunction. However, I'm grateful that I got raised by my grandmother's side instead of the father's side, which was a bit toxic. I am at the age of 32, and I'm an author of a book called Inside a Broken Soul, and I'm here to share my journey to hopefully teach people about mental health and what childhood trauma does to you when you grow up. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much, my sister, for coming through. We really appreciate. I always say that the people who are here to share their stories for awareness purposes, like they're a blessing, because it's really a sign of selflessness. Because for you to want to share your story with other people, that means that you are just giving them free information that's going to help them become better people. That is the most selfless act ever, ever. So thank you so much for that. So how was growing up in Mpumalanga?
So I would like to sort of like venture into before I was born, and then I'll take the conversation further into how I grew up. So as I mentioned that I grew up in a polygamous marriage. My mother was the first wife, and then there was a second wife.
Okay.
However, there was a bit of toxicity and I think competition between my mom and my stepmother. And unfortunately, my father died before I was born, and he committed suicide. I think it was just a matter of him not being able to take in what was happening at that time. And I was informed that before I was born, the stepmother told my mother that she was going to give birth to me via the mouth instead of the natural way. So it was almost like a threat. I always say that I am blessed to have been through a number of challenges and I'm still here. I've studied, I have a good career, and I'm here now. So after I was born, I was rejected by my own family, my father's side. They said that I do not belong to them. And somehow for me, it sort of like gave me an impression that I got rejected even before I was born. That was, I think, traumatic enough, but there's other things that built up into the trauma and what I had to work through as an adult.
So according to what they narrate to you when they tell you about you being rejected by your father's side of the family, what did they say is the reason why they feel like you don't belong to them?
So my mother was working in Pretoria, and my stepmother and my father was at home. It was almost like my mom was a breadwinner, and my family did not like my mother because they are not from the same clan. And again, to me, it was as if they rejected me because I was built with a deformed ear. I don't know, this is... So that for me, it was almost like they did not want me because I was a bit unique. And so my mother, after my father's death, had to move to my grandmother's side. I'm grateful for that because if it wasn't for that, I don't know where I would be as a person, because I was almost taken out from the toxicity. So I grew up, my mother ended up having a boyfriend, and unfortunately, the boyfriend was sexually abusing me. And I don't want to be emotional, but for me, I feel like it's one of those things where I started feeling like I had nobody to sort of like back me up, because I was someone who would write when I'm under stress, because I was also bullied at school. So I had a lot of writing to do. I wrote down what my stepfather was doing to me. He would, I don't know this, if I should say this, but it's a bit, I don't know, too deep what he was doing to me. But I wrote it down, and then one of the distant cousins, when she came to visit home during school holidays, she found the book, and then she gave it to my brother. My brother confronted the guy, and me and my mother, we in a better relationship. But back then, my mother and my grandmother said that I was lying, that the guy never did that. And I think that was the most heart-wrenching thing, because it was like my own mother and my own grandmother would do that. But then she apologized after a while, and we're okay now. But I want to emphasize the fact that just giving a child money and getting them to school is just the bare minimum in parenthood. You need to be there emotionally.
Sure. Sorry, my sister, I just want to go back a bit. Now, if you don't mind sharing some of the things that you had written in the book, which caused your brother to actually show the parents.
So, as I mentioned, it's quite deep. So, the stepfather used to take his finger and explore my private parts. And somehow, as a child, as a child, you don't get to, you know that it's wrong, but it's like, no, he's an elderly guy. Maybe it's not
He knows what is
that wrong.
best.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then afterwards, he would give me 20 rands, and he would be like, no, don't tell anyone. And yeah, well, I guess I wasn't intending to tell anyone, but it was good that it came out.
And during this time, were you staying with your stepfather in the same household, or was he visiting, or what?
He was visiting, but more frequent, because it was almost like every weekend he was coming.
Sure. So how did you move from not being able to be believed by your mother and your grandmother? What did it take for them to eventually believe you?
I don't think, or they even wanted to approach this, because somehow I feel like for me to heal, I believe that they were raised like that. You know, with African mothers, it's like you must protect the man over your child for anything. So as I mentioned, that they noticed what it was doing to me, and 2 times I broke down in front of my aunt. I will tell the story later, who raised me up. She took me in because I believe she was the one that believed me, and she was like, if I don't move this child from there, she might get pregnant, or even worse. You understand?
So it moved from the finger to him actually penetrating you.
It didn't get to that, but if I stayed at home, then it was going to get there.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
I have 2. So we're 3 in the family. I'm the last born.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. So after you fast forwarded a bit to get to your aunt who actually took you, but before getting to your aunt deciding to fetch you, what was happening around that time?
A lot of things. You know, Madam Speaker, I always wonder, how did I actually make it, you know? So as I mentioned, that at that time, my mother had to go with the stepfather to Pretoria, and we had to stay with my stepbrother from the stepfather. The things that he was doing at the time, like he would have sex with his So yeah, he would have sex with his girlfriend in front of us. Sure. And yeah, that was I guess, I don't know if I must say the beginning of it or what. And then we used to have, there's a lot to tell. So on one of the days where I was a child, I was playing with my friends. And so what happened was, I believe that the friend was being used by either the grandmother or someone nearby for witchcraft. So as I was playing with the friend, my sister, who died in 2004, had built a, if you have a mango tree and then you use the bricks to sort of like make a round
yes.
to protect it from
water
being
and
eaten
all
by
that
the
stuff.
goats. Yes. So the friend, when she went behind the structure and then she came back on the other side, she was a monkey. I never told anyone at home until now when I'm older. And yeah, those were the things. And that monkey would come at home and climb on top of the house when even around 8, 7.
My sister, I think I'm missing something about the monkey story.
Yes.
So you're saying you had a friend
Yes.
from the same neighborhood
Yes.
who would turn into a monkey.
Yes. And I was the only one that saw her among the children that were playing there.
So after turning into a monkey, she never turned back into human again
No, she ran away.
as a monkey.
Yes.
And then tomorrow when she comes back,
The thing is, as a child, I don't know if we are too innocent or what, but we played with her. It's only now when I'm older that I'm telling my mom and the others that this was happening. And yeah, it's just being a child. Yeah. And then that monkey, as I'm telling you, it used to come at home, even around 7. The way I don't know if it was something that was living with us or something that was visiting, because I would see it more frequent. And I remember one of the days, so I grew up with my 2 nephews, and then there's me. We were 3. So we would go to we wouldn't go to the toilet because we were young. And the pig toilets at home,
Yeah.
it's not safe for a child. We would do whatever we do outside. While we were busy doing that, I remember it was at around 8. I saw the monkey going down our house. I was the only one that could see that. I could see its green eyes from a distance. And yeah, during that time, when my sister died in 2004, and then when we were going to bury her on Saturday, I saw something, and still I was the only one that could see that. So I sometimes wonder if I'm the strongest that God decided for me to see such things, or sometimes I felt like it was a curse because it was a parent to me. So one of the grandmother of the child that I saw turning into a monkey took a sand from my sister's grave and then put it in her pocket. And then on Sunday, after cleaning and everything, when we were sleeping around 9, then I had soil being spread on top of our house. I knew that it was her. Yes.
and you knew it was the sand from the grave.
Yes.
Sure. That's some real scary stuff that has
Exactly.
been happening there.
So I feel like a combination of those things really, really affected me, my confidence. And, I used to have anxiety and depression, but I went through therapy. And as I said, the reason I'm here is to teach people. Going to therapy is not a taboo. As a person, you go through things and you can't deal with them alone. You need a professional. I was helped by a psychologist.
And when you share with the psychologist such things, especially when it comes to the witchcraft side of things, what do they say?
Well, the thing is, I would tell her what happens, ne? But what else can she do just to listen and try and see where my state of mind is and to take me out of that? So, Madam Speaker, if you can agree for us to proceed,
Of course.
as my aunt took me in. And then, so my aunt had 1 child. And I don't know if, as I grow up, I'm learning that, sometimes taking in someone else's child can sort of like place a burden on you, and you don't know how to sort of like deal with that. Sometimes it comes with a frustration, and you take out the frustration on the child.
Yeah.
So I would like to say that I don't know how many times I tried to commit suicide while I was staying with my aunt, because I remember I used to be told that they were doing me a favor by helping me in. And my cousin, I know we okay now, but I remember she used to tell me that me and her are not related. I was so scared to even ask for things for school because I knew that it's either she's gonna get angry at me or say painful things like, you will never amount to anything in your life. And I would like to mention that those are one of the things that when I sit down and think about, I'm like, there's no way I can make it. I'm gonna push, because I need to prove, and it's not proving others, but in a way I need to prove myself that I can do it. You know, Madam Speaker, my aunt once told me before I went to varsity that, or after, sorry, when I was graduating, that Wanaka didn't believe that you would come this far, just because of how I grew up. As I told you, I used to stay indoors, avoiding people. Like, even now, I still find it a bit difficult to be in public because, like, in a way, I would go to school, come back home, eat, sleep, same routine. And also, as I mentioned that, you know, with us as parents, I have a son. We need to be aware that when a child, because I grew up being a bubbly child, honestly, I would go out around 7 in the morning, come back later around 7 because I was playing. But the more you see a child withdraw from the public, then you should know that there's a problem.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's because they didn't know how to handle my situation,
Yeah.
but I believe that the people that raised me should have done better.
And my sister, now when you look at all that arrangement of you being moved, because you were saying that initially you stayed at your father's house, then you moved to your grandmother's house, which then you also had your own experiences which are not so good. Then moving from your grandmother's house to your aunt's house, how were you even involved in that, or you were just told that you are moving? And what was the reason? Is it because of the boy, the step brother? Is it because of the monkeys? What was the reason why you were moved?
The main reason was that my stepfather was sexually abusing me.
So he continued with the sexual abuse.
Well, yeah, they said he was lying, so I guess he found more reason to do it because no one believed me.
So until you left.
Yes.
And your mom?
My mom, as I mentioned, she wasn't always at home. She was in Pretoria working. So when I grow up, I noticed that sometimes she feels guilty. Maybe because she feels like she didn't protect me enough. But as I said, I broke down so many times that she had to apologize, kneel down and apologize to me.
Sure. I still don't understand what is a boyfriend doing in a home of a girlfriend, and also for him to even come with his child also.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, it happens out there. But now, because you're saying that you had to be moved to your aunt's place to protect you from your stepfather, which was also opening other doors of abuse and all of that stuff, how did that end? Because I know that you said that when you graduated, they were saying Wutsi, they never thought you would make it this far. But how was that like overall?
So my aunt wasn't married, so she was staying with my grandmother. So in a way, she had her own little house in the same yard with my grandmother. So, and then we had my uncle's house inside the same yard.
Wait, so in the same yard where you were staying with your grandmother and your mom and the stepdad and everybody, it's the same yard where your aunt has a house?
No, my home is separate from my grandmother, my aunt, and my uncle. My uncle, my aunt, and my grandmother were in the same yard.
Okay.
Yes, but our house was at a distance.
Oh, okay. Which is
Yes.
where your stepfather was staying
Yes.
with his... Okay.
Yes. So as I moved to stay with my aunt, I would like to mention this, that at school I was a top achiever for each and every grade I was in. And somehow I think that's what consoles me with my childhood, that I stood up for something. So as I grew up, I don't know what happened. I feel like I had this like bad luck, I guess. I thought of it as when I was young, that my uncle's wife did not like me. She did not really like me at all. And I remember she would shame me and you know that my ear is small. I think it was a matter of you are intelligent at school. We're gonna break your confidence here. You can't be confident both at home, at school, and at home. That also contributed to me staying indoors. I spent most of my childhood indoors. So I remember when I was thinking yesterday, I'm like, someone has come a long way. One of the days I was cooking on the side of my aunt's house where she was staying. So everyone knew I was scared of frogs. And then I don't know how frogs ended up in a pot inside a house. Someone knew that I was going to cook. And as I opened the pot, there were about 4 huge frogs. And for me, like, I'm thinking now that who would have hated me so much that they wanted to traumatize me like that? Everyone knew that I was scared of frogs. And yeah, as I mentioned, that I tried to commit suicide one of the days. My aunt found me, and I took, I think, about 30 pills. I took my aunt's pills. I did not know what they were for. I took about 30 of them and drank them and slept because I couldn't face school. There was bullying. I couldn't face home because it's like my own family betrayed me. So where do I have, who do I have in this life? Yeah. So yeah, I remember, okay, I took the pills. I slept. I thought I will not wake up. But apparently I took multivitamins. So
They did nothing.
they did nothing. But I'm grateful that that didn't happen. And yeah, when I was at school, I remember one of the days. So when you are in the valley, there's a part of your life where they'll have to initiate you. We call it ikute. So I wasn't less confident about my ear up until then, because when after you do the initiation, they cut all of your hair. So I was wearing a wig one day when I was at school. 2 ladies came behind me and they were like, yeah, this, oh, unano rotlalifile. Ariti e wivule e re latlhele kwa le ba kgone go tshega. And yeah, I'm still working on my confidence.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, my sister, for what you've been through, as a child, because it takes one person to say something mean to you to take away your confidence forever,
Yes. That is true.
And with your confidence being taken away, you work extra hard for you to gain the confidence.
Yes.
And I think the most important thing that I feel like for me is a lesson that I always teach, whether young or old. I think this will never have an age limit, whether you're a kid or you're an old person.
Exactly.
And the lesson is that it took words to break your confidence, It's not going to take a lot of things to bring it back. It's going to take words. Exactly. And those words are not going to be said by anybody else but you.
I know.
Because I always make reference to the Bible, because I'm a Bible-believing person, and I believe that even the Word of God does say that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And in everything that God created, He used the Word. He just said, let there be, and things were done like that. So meaning that because we are created in the image of God, words can be used to destroy and to build up anything. Meaning that we don't have any other tools besides our voices, besides our words. So that's why somebody was able to destroy your confidence using words. But guess what? You also have the same words to rebuild that which was destroyed. So I just wanted to be like an encouragement, not only to you, but also to the viewers at home, to say, if you've ever been broken by words, just remember that there's no other remedy that's coming except for words. People get told how useless they are. People get to be told how imperfect they are by other people using words. You don't get to see your own imperfection. You don't get to see how ugly, how undesirable you are until somebody else tells you that. So I think you always have to go back to before other people told you, and I speak about this all the time, to say before other people told you who you were, who did you think you were?
I was the most confident child. As I told you, I always reference to how good I was doing at school. And that for me, I don't know if it was the main thing that kept me and my crown straightened up. Yeah.
And as you're saying, Wutsi, like you went through initiation school and also the confidence as it's going down and all that stuff, and now you're still working on rebuilding it. How did that affect your relationships, especially with other genders?
Yeah. You know, confidence is everything. Confidence is everything because, with men, okay, I'll start with my stepfather sexual molestation. I didn't want any man to touch me. It was like, no, I'm not letting another one touch me. But the more I grew up, then I engaged into relationships. But, when you are not confident, you accept everything and anything. And I feel like that for me almost like broke down the confidence quite more because, for instance, you would believe anything and everything anyone tells you, you're ugly, why would I date someone like you? But
And now it goes to a point where when somebody actually dates you, you feel like they're doing you a favor.
exactly,
Yeah.
I know that. And it's like, I'm thinking now that even no matter how much someone can show you that they love you, but if you don't love yourself, you'll never see that. I struggle to believe that anyone would love me because I felt like even my family didn't love me. And
You were
who
not
are
worth loving.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and I would also like to say that, Madam Speaker, what happens in life is that, as you said, you are hit by this and it takes almost a lifetime to heal from it. And I would like to tell the viewers that they need to take your time to heal. Don't let anyone rush you. I remember someone saying to me, "Can't I fail more?" How many traumatic things did I have to pass through that I can just heal just like that? You know how many years it took me to go for therapy and somehow feel like I'm myself again. Almost 3-4 years. Yes. So you can't tell someone, why are you not healing? You took your time abusing that person.
Yeah.
Let them have their space.
And also, I think your abuser is the last person you have to listen to when you are going through your process
Because
of healing. You irritate them.
What I've noticed is that people would rather get angry at you and label you as the problematic one instead of them looking at themselves and doing self-reflection. People don't want to see their mistakes. They would rather say, Thandeka is problematic. But I always tell a friend of mine that if my childhood was fine, I wouldn't be here fighting confidence issues. I wouldn't be here still crying about it. Yes.
Sure. But we take it one day at a time.
Yes.
At least the desire to want to fight is there.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Yes.
So how did we get to a part where you decide to write a book?
With the book, it took me years, I think since 2012. But I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready to face the world with what with trauma. It almost makes you feel like you should be ashamed of what you went through, but I shouldn't, because first of all, I was too young to even defend myself. It wasn't my fault. Now I'm old, I can do something about it. So I decided to write a book to, as mentioned, to teach, especially our Black communities. We think a child being here and eating every day is enough. It's not enough.
Yeah. Sure. So now you wrote the book and it's all about, Kana, you did mention in the beginning, ne? My sister, can you tell me about forgiveness? I want us to talk about forgiveness because maybe you can take us through the day where eventually maybe people like your mom apologized to you. What happened leading up to that? And I want us to talk about forgiveness. Or what does forgiveness mean to you?
Well, forgiveness for me, it means I'm noticing now as I'm older that it doesn't help to hold on to what they would say is that it doesn't like help drinking poison and expecting the other
Somebody
person
else
to
to
die.
Yeah.
Bitterness somehow eats you as a person, not the other one.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, whenever you are sort of like re-traumatize yourself with such things, you are hating yourself. You're letting that person hate you even when you are older, even. So yeah, with me, I've forgiven quite a lot. As I mentioned with my mom, I just took it as in our African parents, they always put a man first. Maybe she didn't know better. As I said, also with whatever that happened in my family, I forgave because I feel like they did not know how to deal with a child like me. They didn't know.
And when you are forgiving people who are asking for an apology, or you are forgiving because you are doing it for yourself?
I'm doing it for myself. Most of the time, Madam Speaker, what I can tell you is that people never apologize even when they are wrong. They know that they are wrong. So you need to do it for yourself.
And is the stepfather still alive?
No, I think it's been 4 years now. He passed away.
And the child, the brother?
So what happened was my brother found out what he was doing, and then I guess they had a fight and he chased him away. He never came back.
So this stepchild was the child of the stepfather.
Yes.
But him being chased away just like that, and it just ended like that.
Yeah, because the house was my mother's house, not the stepfather's house. So he didn't have any grounds to stay. It was almost as if like he was there because the father is still there. When he's not there, then why must he be there?
So was he only kicked out after the father passed?
No, the father passed away recently. What happened
Okay.
happened years ago. So it was my brother found out that he was doing the things that I told you about, and he was like, "No, I'm not gonna take this." And I feel like my brother is one of the people that fought on my behalf a lot when I was young.
And where is your brother now?
He's at home in Pumalanga. Yeah, he's doing well for himself.
No, that's good. At least you. But my sister, do you now see that you were not entirely all alone? You know,
Yeah.
in as much as the capacity that he had, was limited because he was also still a child.
Yes.
But when you look back, and there's your brother.
Yes, I would like to say that yes, my brother was there. It's just as I mentioned that with trauma, it's gonna sort of like encourage you that you know what, you are alone. Why don't you kill yourself? But I want to say that I always look at myself, and I don't know if I must say I stand somehow because not everyone goes through such things and they come out having a diploma, and some people commit suicide or they go to drugs.
Yeah.
I know I'm a strong person, and I'm grateful for such experiences because I'm not gonna be a parent that my parent was to me when I was young. I know she didn't know better, but it's a lesson to me to do better as a parent. Yes.
And for somebody who is watching right now and they're trying to rebuild their confidence, I know that you are still working on it. It's a work in progress, right?
Yes.
But somebody has not even started. Where do they start?
When it comes to confidence, I feel like therapy is the way to go. Because, when I was less confident, I would try to do it myself alone, but it wouldn't work, especially if it stems from a multiple traumatic events. It's not an easy one. I highly recommend therapy, and I highly recommend that as a person, be patient with yourself, and keep in mind that whatever happened, you didn't know. Now you know better. And in this world, there's no one that doesn't have their own things going on, their own heads. You're not alone. They're not alone. Yeah.
Sure. No, I think that's going to definitely encourage someone. So, from all of that, my sister, everything that you've been telling us, I want us to go to the good side now, the brighter side, the happy ending, even though it's not the end yet, where you are now.
Okay.
How are you now? How are you feeling now? How are things now with you?
After the writing the book and all that, I must say, as I said, I look at myself and I'm like, no, like Thandeka, you are something else. I feel as if the healing part of me woke up that lioness in me, because with everything and anything I do, Like I do it. I want to say that with healing came a breakthrough in my life. As I said, I have a good career going on. I have a number of businesses going on. I have a book coming in. So I'm like, and I can say with my full chest that I'm a better aunt. I'm a better parent. You know, my nephews and nieces sometimes prefer me over their own parents because I try my best to be the almost like a better version. I'm not saying that their parents are not better versions, but with someone that went through what I went through, then I know better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also another thing that works, my sister, is to speak to people around you. You know, if you love someone and you see that maybe there's a thing or two that they're not doing right as a parent, you know, with love, you can always, you know, encourage them to say, look, this is how I'm doing it and this works for me and it seems like the kids are happy with it. Maybe, you know,
Yes.
you could also try this, and that. Ne?
Most definitely.
Yeah. So for the people who want to get a hold of the book, or other, do you want to disclose some of the things that you do so that those who want to reach out and network and
Okay. So I am currently, I don't know, in a business of Uber
okay,
and a business of selling gas stoves. And yeah, there's a number of them. I can't disclose all of them,
Okay.
but for anyone that needs to have the book, it's on Take a Lot, and also they can visit my TikTok account, which is Thandi.mtsweni, and then yeah,
okay. No, I think the guest stove is gonna come in very handy because abazalwane, we are cooking. You know,
yeah,
somebody is watching this
exactly,
channel while they are cooking, so the guest stove will come in handy, and also obviously the book, ne?
yeah,
And the Uber. You know, we have to
yes,
get from point A to point B.
yes,
So you're really doing well for yourself, my sister, and I really, really just thank God that you are you have overcome. You know, sometimes when you're the owner of the story, you don't realize how far you've come until you look back and you see the army of people who are following you or who are vouching for you or who are just looking up to you, you know. Somebody actually wakes up in the morning and they look at your video before they can start their day because they need that kick, you know, they need that inspiration. So you should never ever take that for granted.
You know, I would never take that for granted. You
Yeah.
know, what I realize is that when people buy the book and they read it and they like, then they go, when you are lying, you didn't go through such things. And they start talking about their experiences. So for me, it's enough to sort of like know that I'm doing something for someone. Yeah.
Okay, I think earlier on, you did touch a bit on how you feel like maybe you were the strongest soldier and all that stuff. And I just want to know, Ore, what do you believe in?
I believe in God, but at some point I sort of like was like, no, I'm not gonna pray anymore because 1, 2, 3 has happened and I feel like it didn't protect me. But he did, because if I grew up from my father's side, as I said, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah.
And if I was an outgoing child, maybe I would have gotten pregnant when I was young and I couldn't finish school. If things didn't happen, I wouldn't be a strong lady like I am today. Yeah.
So everything happens. God was there
Yes.
the whole time.
Yeah, it's just I'm only noticing now.
And how's your relationship now with your father's side of the family now that you're older and you are busy on a mission to forgive?
It's non-existent. Yeah, and it's not because most of my father's family died, so it's not because I don't want to sort of like be with them, but I wasn't raised by them, so it's just a relationship that is dead, and it's not because I'm still angry, but because that's how it is.
You know, I believe that there are certain instances where you have to let sleeping dogs lie, where
Yeah,
even
like
when relationships have come to an end, you don't have to go and resurrect them.
exactly.
But sometimes, as we are healing this journey of life, there are certain things that are gonna be triggers that the only thing that is going to give you the closure is to confront things that you've decided to put behind you. Or maybe you have not arrived there yet, but what I want to check with you is how do you, in as much as you're saying you don't have a relationship with them, they're non-existent and all that stuff, do you ever even think about them, or does it not even affect you in any way possible?
It doesn't affect me. I think I just got used to not having them in my life. It doesn't. It doesn't.
And you are saying now your relationship with your mom has improved.
Yes, most definitely. And she's also one of the strongest women I know. She also has her share of stories. And yeah, as I mentioned, I forgave her. And yeah, we're good now.
That's good. Forgiveness
It's very
is
important.
very important for you, you know. Okay, I don't know. Maybe if there's anything else that you've left that you've not touched on before we wrap it up.
Not really. It's just as I said, I just want to like share information. It's not I'm okay. Another thing is I don't want this to come out as if I'm bad mouthing my family. It's just a lesson to them that as a child, what did I wish for?
Yeah.
And I still love them so much. They are part of my life. And yeah, and whoever that's going through things, it's gonna pass. Nothing lasts forever.
Okay. One last one for the parents who are raising children who are different, you know, for whatever, you know, we come out differently from
Yes.
our mother's wombs. And they are not quite sure how they can support their children through whatever difference that they have. Like you are saying that you grew up being bullied a lot, you know. What would you say would be the best tool to have, or how can they be a better parent so that their kids don't have to go through something similar to what you went through?
Yes, so I would like to say that it's very important to talk to your child. You know your child better than anyone. And track their behavior. As I mentioned before, that if your child withdraws and somehow they sleep a lot, you need to ask questions. I usually sit down my son and be like, do you want to talk to me about anything? And sometimes he would break down, Mama, I feel like you're not there like a lot. Then I would improve in that. I'm not saying that you should spoil your child, but as a parent, a child mustn't be scared to come to you with a problem. You should be the first person that your child should think of when they're in trouble. Because I feel like with me, I almost felt scared to even say anything because no one believed me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, I think that's a very good lesson, you know, listen to our kids. And I always say that, you know, our kids are, I always see jokes on TikTok where people are saying, our kids are so stressed. They are raising, they're raising parents. It's like they're raising us now.
Yes.
And to be quite honest, I feel like our kids are teaching us how to parent them, you know, because how our parents parented us
Yeah,
is completely different, you know.
the 2000s are not
Yeah.
they I feel like they're a generation of kids that are not scared to sort of like correct us.
Yeah.
And yes, as a parent, you know better, but you have your own mistakes. And that's part of being a human being.
Yeah.
But don't expect to be always correct because you're an adult. You can't.
Yeah.
And,
We learn every
you shouldn't
day.
have a pride to say sorry to your child.
Yes. I agree with you on that one.
And your own traumas, you shouldn't transfer them to your kids. If you saw what it did to you, don't transfer it to another person. I remember telling one of my nephews that you don't do that. You don't transfer your trauma. No, be a better person.
Yeah. No, I hear you, my sister. And thank you so much for coming to share your story with us today. I believe that is going to change a lot of people's lives. You know, there's no story that is just a story in J. And I don't believe that whatever we go through them just for the fun of it. I do believe that there's always a lesson. And like I said in the beginning of this airing, that I appreciate you being selfless enough to want to share your journey so that it can help other people improve. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Azalani at home, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a lovely comment in the comment section and tell us what you think about this episode, if you can relate in any way possible. And also just mention a few tools that you've used, you know, so that you can become a better person, so that you can improve your confidence. And if you need to get the book so that at least you will be able to, you know, also improve your confidence learning from other people's stories, please do that. We are going to leave my sister's details here so that if you want to reach out to her, you can. And we'll see each other on the flip side. I love you. God bless you. Mwah.